You know, this season of Survivor has been pretty polarizing so far. There's just a lot of repetitive stuff going on with the edit, and it doesn't even feel like we've gotten the chance to really meet everybody yet. But still, there is a lot of mess happening out there on that island, and there is a lot to talk about today. Before we get into it though, make sure you hit that subscribe button below just so you can stay tuned as we continue through this wonderful season. Now, let's get into it. So let's kick things off with the Yanu tribe, who was just spared from going into tribal council. They kind of start things off on a high note this episode. You know, first there's no tribal council, and then they win the reward, so they finally have a tarp and flint and stuff, but their luck is about to run out very, very soon. Right off the bat, Banu decides to fess up and snitch on himself. He tells Tiffany and Q all about how he spilled all their tribe's secrets, and he doesn't even consider it to be a bad thing at first.
Damn, Banu. That's scary too.
About the Kenzie thing?
About all of it.
Did I say something wrong?
This whole tribe has been a hot ass mess. Actually, you know what? It's not even the tribe. It is literally just Banu. It's like, I get how Banu is an honest person and a straight shooter and all this good stuff, yada, yada, yada. But at the same time, I don't understand how you can call yourself a Survivor superfan, yet it's obvious that you lack the basic knowledge about what this game is even about. It's like he doesn't really know what strategy is. He doesn't understand how the tribal council is supposed to work. Banu claims that he's seen every episode of Survivor, but I don't know about that. I do want to give Q a special shout out here though, because he at least tries to teach Banu the game of Survivor. It's really crazy to watch because it's like watching a grown-ass man teach another grown-ass man how to crawl. But Q is able to be really sensitive to Banu's emotions here, which I thought showed a lot of maturity in him as a player. You know what? Q has actually proved to be one of my favorite players in this whole season. He seems really adaptable, like he's able to talk and teach, but also learn and listen. And his relationship with Banu kind of reminds me of Caleb and Emily from last season. It's just the notion of taking the devalued player and trying to bring out the best in them. Now, we know it didn't end up working out for Caleb in the end, but I still think that Q has pretty good win equity as of right now. And another person who I think has great win equity right now is Tevin from the Yellow Tribe. We get this really touching personal segment about his dad in this episode, but we also see him making some strategic moves and plotting his next steps in the game. Tevin seems like he's a little bit threatened by Soda's social status in the game right now, so it looks like he's trying to plot to make her the next target. Now, the edit has been telling us that Venus and now Soda seem to be like the two people that are towards the bottom of their tribe. So I really wouldn't be surprised if one of these two ladies were the first to go from this group. But now that we've gotten this segment, Soda leaving in this next episode is looking very, very obvious right now. But at the same time, there is now a new idol / beware advantage that is floating around their camp right now. So we're just going to have to see if that's going to end up affecting the game. Meanwhile, over on the Siga tribe, it looks like a lot of the drama is revolving around that beware advantage. Jim found it in the last episode, but she still hasn't told anybody about it, which I absolutely love. I just feel like it's so common to see people just tell the one person they trust, and then after a while, everybody knows about it. Now, the messy part comes when Jim tries to re-hide the advantage just to trick somebody, which eventually it does. Moriah finds the clue, but of course there's no actual advantage to be found because Jim already has it. And now the entire tribe knows that somebody amongst them is a liar. This whole move from Jim, although it is very messy and very entertaining, it's also very risky because, first of all, she doesn't know if it's going to be one of her allies or one of her enemies that finds it. So you could end up screwing up one of your allies' games. On top of that, it's also kind of possible that everybody in the tribe puts their heads together and figures out that Jim is really the one responsible for all this. Now, Jim does get kind of lucky here because it looks like a lot of the blame is going to be placed on Tim Jim for whatever reason. I'm just hoping that Jim is mentally prepared to lie until the bitter end for this whole thing to really work. So with all of this drama in the air, it is now time for the players to go off to the next immunity challenge. Before the challenge, they're all warned that jumping will be involved, which really scares Moriah because apparently this girl can't jump. Like, what? I promise y'all, I didn't know what the hell she meant until I actually saw that girl attempt jumping.
Moriah's jumps were not, great. It was not great. Very nice. But we want to inspire confidence in Moriah.
Let's go,
Let's go, Banu.
It kind of sucks that this is like the only segment we've gotten of Homegirl all season. Really, it seems like the whole Siga tribe is kind of just being pushed out of the edit this year, which makes me think that maybe none of them are going to win this whole thing. But you know, I could be wrong. The challenge kicks off and it ends up all boiling down to a game of basketball in the end. But unfortunately, Yanu is not able to finish their baskets in time and unfortunately will be headed to tribal council yet again. Ugh, I'm just tired at this point. I'm tired of seeing them going to tribal council. You're probably tired of seeing them go to tribal council, and I know that they are tired of seeing them go to tribal council. I mean, you know, congrats to the other teams and all that, but I'm just really hoping that somebody else, literally anybody else, loses in the next episode. This has been the Yanu show all season long, and I am just ready to see how any other team is gonna handle the heat. Back at the purple camp, everybody, and I mean everybody, is talking about how they want Banu out. They're saying it in their confessionals, and they're even talking about it back at camp so loudly that Banu and probably the other tribes can hear them. This is where we get that emotional scene of Banu doing all this crying, hopelessly searching for an idol and begging on his knees. I mean, it's a lot.
Tiff, you need to help me, Tiff. Please.
No, please, Banu.
Please,
no.
Tiff.
Get up off your knees. What the hell are you doing? Banu, bro, please.
Tiff, you need
No,
to help me.
get up.
I mean, this man is dramatic. Oh my God. And he's not even doing this for the money either. He's doing this for the vibes. It was pretty cringe to watch, but I still couldn't help feel bad for the dude here. Because even if he is being a bit dramatic to me, it's still how he feels and his feelings are still valid. Heading into tribal council, it looked very obvious where this whole vote was going. Banu didn't have a vote or shot in the dark or idol or anything really. At this point, even Q is ready to kick him to the curb. And up until now, Q had been his only shot of staying in the game. I guess since everything seems so unanimous, after sharing his story about his upbringing, Banu's torch was snuffed without even voting. The whole lack of vote situation was a little bit polarizing in the fandom. Some people thought that the show was being kind of soft on Banu, especially since Jeff gave him a hug and all that, but I don't really mind either way. I actually thought the edit here was kind of refreshing. I feel like normally watching an episode of Survivor is like watching a mystery unravel. We are reading between the lines and looking through the edit for clues about who's going to be going home. But the ending of this episode felt a lot different, almost as if it was a completely different show, but I didn't really mind it. Of course, I want to know, what did you all think of this episode? And of course, what did you think of King Banu? A lot of people were thinking that he could be carried all the way until the finale, including me, so his exit here was a bit of a surprise. He's definitely a gem of a contestant, and the producers obviously loved him, so I could 1000% see him getting a callback for future seasons. Of course, I'll be back here to update you all with recaps as we continue throughout season 46, but until next time, peace.